On this episode of the John1911 Podcast, we're having problems with our steel targets. FN issues a recall for the 249S because of burst fire. Hunting deer with an SKS rifle. And our shipment from Ukraine has arrived. Okay, good morning everybody. This is Marky and Freeze, and this is episode 77 of the John1911 Podcast. How was your night, Freeze?
Pretty good.
It was good, huh?
Yeah.
You having a better week than the Democrats in Congress?
Surprisingly enough, I am. Yes.
Russia.
Oops.
Yeah. Actually, before we get too deep down into all that kind of stuff, because once we start talking like pseudo politics, we're gonna kind of that'll be kind of a deep dive. I want to get a couple other things in real quick. Do you remember the 249 saw the semi-automatic version that FN's been selling?
Yes.
Because I've been kind of like man loving on those since they came out, and I don't want to pay the price, but the truth is, I know as soon as they stop making those, they're going to go stupid, crazy expensive, because I'm never going to get a real saw. There's only a handful of them, I think, and they're not even going to, unless you give post, but, I debate it. So anyway, I don't know if you heard this, FN has issued a recall on the 249S, and actually, they've termed it as a quote mandatory recall that causes a quote unsafe firing event. Now, you could read into that what you want. I have never heard of one of these things kabooming or having an issue. I think with people, apparently it started coming out of the woodwork that some of these guns are burst firing. And somebody told FN the hammer's following somehow, and so if they're getting I don't know if maybe they're doing something and maybe the hammer's not quite going all the way back, and it's maybe still doing the disconnect. And I don't know how the semi-auto ones, because the real saw is an open bolt gun, but the rumor is that some of these guns are burst firing, and it's like, well.
How legitimate is this rumor?
That's a rumor.
Yeah.
The recall is real.
Yeah, the recall is real, but do we know why they're do we know why the recall was issued? Is it because of this supposed burst fire rumor, or is it another
No, the
issue?
rumor popped up second. No, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hold on. Now I am not a guy that owns an FN 249S. I'm not in the FN 249S cool guy circle, and for all I know, there's a bunch of them talking, hey man, is yours burst firing? Or if you do this, like you bump fire it or something, you know what I mean? Maybe they're doing something, like maybe you don't hold it as, maybe you slack up on your shit, maybe it's not locking back. So I don't know. It started popping up after the recall. The recall is worded as a it's from FN, a mandatory recall. And they're describing it as an unsafe firing event. They did not say they could cause injury to the shooter. They did not say that it would it's damaging the guns.
Okay.
That's what was not in the recall.
Huh.
It didn't say it was causing harm to the gun, causing harm to the shooter. And then some people were like, yeah, it's that burst fire thing some of them are doing. Like, what? So I guess the real question is, when you go and buy 249, how do you tell? I'm curious to see if you can tell what the fix is. And then, does one that's not fixed, wink, wink, become a little bit more valuable than the one that has been fixed? Or is it going to be like what happened to some guys when certain parts kits were brought into the country, and then the ATF went around and basically said, no, give us that part. If people are going to get a visit if they don't get them fixed.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. I thought you would find that really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what the recall's over, but I guess we'll find out.
Well, I mean, okay. So think about this. It's an FN249S. You're sitting around that FN. We're discussing the recall. Are you going to word it as, yeah, it's burst firing? Some of these guns are burst firing. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No. No, you were definitely not wording it that way.
Yeah, it was just interesting.
Because if you put that press release out, like all 35 attorneys you have working for you are going to have like seizures on the floor.
Yeah. Every 249S ever been sold, when you talk to the guy that bought it, nah, man, it's too heavy. I sold that at a gun show. Every one of them got sold.
Yeah.
It's not a controlled item unless, I mean, again, you never know. It depends on how bad it is. If it's just because, there's guns out there that have, dude, I mean, were we together? Did a 1911 do that? I've had a 1911 do it twice, like do 2 or maybe 3 rounds before.
Yeah, I've had it happen. It happens when your sear gets gets warm.
The sear nose, but it's I mean that's not a machine gun. I mean it's technically a defective gun that has to be worked on because you can't, because it's a runaway. So I don't when I have to look at the internals of how a 249S is set up, because it's got that paw arm or POW arm or whatever it is, and so it, I don't know. It may not. I don't know if those can run away, like because they just they're completely different than like obviously a 1911 or a standard sear setup. So I don't know. I thought that was really interesting, and I'm kind of hitting you kind of out of the blue at this because we had been discussing some other guns, and the 249 has not been on the list. So you're like, what the fuck is this coming up for? But we're not going to mention those guns right now either until we secure one. So, because the last thing I need is the price to go up. So don't talk about it until we own it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, really. Did you see this great deal on this gun? Dude, did you really say that on the podcast?
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
So this morning, we kind of had a busy morning. I had some stuff going on, and Freeze sent me a text message with a photograph. Those of you that have been following us on social media know that we've been full tilt boogie into the range project, which is why a lot of these podcasts have been a little bit slower. Freeze sent me a list of, I guess he found a source for 50 pallets today, that I have to get today. So, instead of opening mail here in the armory, I'll be loading up the trailer and getting pallets today.
Well, what's interesting is I replied to them.
Yeah.
And the listing has since been taken down.
Sweet. Do you have a contact number?
But they have not reached out to me.
Okay. Well, by the time this podcast is over, we'll maybe when we get off here, we'll. But if let me know on pod if something changes. But
if something changes, I will. I'm wondering if someone. See, I responded to their post. I wonder if someone might have jumped in before me and sent him a PM. Which is possible, but I mean, I'm telling you what, we jumped on it quick. I mean, that thing had only been listed for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
When I replied. So if someone jumped the gun and beat me to it, well.
Yeah. Because what we're doing is we've been going around the area. I'm in town, so we've been going around the area and picking up pallets, because we're going to use pallets to build a deck, when I say deck, I don't mean like a deck on the back of your house. I mean like a elevated, flat shooting position that we can lay down and shoot on. And then, if we get more pallets, maybe we can even build some other stuff. But we've also been picking up What are those? Like, are they spools or spindles?
They're wire or cable spools.
So
they're just the big wooden spools.
Yeah. So what? I went around and I picked up some spools, and I guess people use these, like hippies make tables out of these. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
And
hippie tables.
Yeah, hippie tables. And that's gonna make the title. Hippie table. All right, hold on. So, picking up some of these, and I've been going around picking up a few and talking to some people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna really, hope you really enjoy that table." And I'm like, "We will." It's like, yeah, this table's gonna be destroyed in about a week. But then I had a large company had reached out, and they were like, "Dude, you looking for spools? We got the spools." And long story, very, 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 very short, they have spools that they explained it to me, because I looked at the spools and I went to move one. They're big, but I went to move one and I was like, oh my God, these things are so heavy. You couldn't lift it. Like, if both of us were to lift it, we could probably physically lift the weight, but it's so unwieldy. Basically, you can't even pick these things up, even if you try to tip them back and use your back. We had to use a forklift. And what it is, these particular spools come from the cables that they use on the highways to keep cars in the lanes when they string them through, I guess, the guardrails or the posts. Yeah. You see the highway cables, like for the car traffic control. And, it was like, oh yeah. And the guy was like, yeah, we'll have some more next week. And if you need more, especially when I explained to him kind of, what we're doing and who we are without getting too much into it. He was like, dude, they had Trump signs up everywhere at their business. Guys wearing a Navy hat. They're pro-gun. I was like, sweet. I mean, it was like, oh yeah, we're going to be staying in touch. So they're going to be definitely our spool people for sure. So
yeah, well, that's good.
And when you see some of these spools, you're going to be like, Jesus Christ, these things are so heavy duty. We could literally use these as foundations on a hill to build the deck, and they could hold up the deck.
Wow.
These make the hippie table spools look like a joke.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that was an interesting thing. I didn't send you the. I guess we got to do this. We can do it here. We have to talk about the targets. Let me send you. I can do this as a message. I'm going to send this to you as an email.
Okay.
There's a screen grab that I did because I didn't know if you were, if you had known what I was talking about. What I'm mumbling about as I'm trying to type and talk at the same time is tartars. Jesus. We're trying to set up targets on the new range, and we're having some issues here. One of the issues is there's a particular type of target that I really like. It's a human silhouette style target. It's 18 inches wide at the shoulder. It's actually got a round head and it's got the delts on the shoulder. So it's a human figure. It's really a neat target. And it's 18 inches wide. I think they're 20 inches tall. Or 20 something, because they're a little, they go into the upper chest, they go into the mid chest, and almost down into the intestines.
Yeah.
Upper GI tract, and they're like 47 pounds a piece. It's a heavy duty target. They're rated for the big calibers. But here's the problem. I'm not going to mention a company because it's not their fault. It's their targets, the way they sell them. Everything they sell basically goes into a 2x4 that goes into an H style or type of stand with feet on the ground. And those are great for portable targets, and they're great on your square ranges or on flat fields. But part of the reason why we have this new range the way we have it is because it's got some roll in it. And it's got roll in it. We wanted it so it's natural backstops at various distances. We have natural backstops at 100 yards. We have natural backstops at 150, 200, 250, 300 yards. And this one area is clear to trees, which is convenient because it's also a road. And we can't set these targets up because there's no trees. We really can't. The targets aren't designed to bolt anything. They're not designed to be used with chains. And they tip over. I mean, there's no real way without making it even harder to get, to use these things. And, also, and here's another data point for the listener at home, and this is something that we have figured out. We've noticed this on Mitchell's range, and it's an issue with cows, and I don't know if it's an issue with other animals, but it may very well could be. We've noticed whenever we have targets up, like they're in stands, that what ends up happening is animals get curious about those targets, and they come over and knock them down. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah, every time we go out to Mitchell's range, those targets are knocked over because animals like cows will come through and knock them over. And, if we want to show up, if it's pouring ass rain and we want to show up and we want to shoot, or it's been raining all night and we got targets set up between 100, which, it's no big deal going out to 100, but out to 6, 7, 800,000 yards, and it's a sloppy mess, and the targets are over, either because it rained, the ground got soft, and they tipped, or a goddamn deer came through and kicked them, or Lord knows what else. That's a huge problem.
Yeah.
Because it defeats the purpose because we don't want to be. I mean, the average person, a 47-pound target, just one target that you have to schlep up and down 1,000-yard range every time you want to shoot, that sucks rocks. Try doing 5 of them.
Yeah, and I mean, if we have 40 days and 40 nights of rain, I want to roll into the shooting position and be able to just shoot. I don't want to have to go out to the targets.
Well, that's the reason why we put the main shooting position where it's at, because the rest of the property's got a lot of roll in it, and it's got hill and drainage. We got that property for various reasons. One, the hills are natural backstops. The drainage makes sure the property doesn't, quote, this is a farmer term I had to learn, lay wet. But, we have the main shooting position in an area where even a two-wheel drive vehicle can get to it and shoot. We don't want to have to, it doesn't have to be, a Lewis and Clark expedition every time we go to the range if we have to go out there. Because a lot of times, the car, if it's wet, you're not going to make it back.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's one thing to roll out there with a four-wheeler and a can of spray paint. It's another thing to have to go out there and deal with, 400 pounds of steel targets all the time.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
Sucks. And on a four-wheeler, that's really hard. And let me give the home gamer, someone who has a lot of experience shooting steel targets, but doesn't have a lot of experience touching steel targets. Let me give you a piece of advice. Steel targets will literally cut or pinch meat off your body.
Yeah.
They're so heavy, the big ones, that you can't touch them without gloves, and you got to be real careful, especially when you got 2 of them on top of each other. I mean, they'll take meat right off you. I mean, it's the edges are not rounded and smooth. Well, even if they are, and like one of these targets we have, they are rounded, but they're so heavy. I mean, they're not razor blade sharp, but they're so heavy that it'll pinch a big old section of, it'll skin graft. It'll take a donor skin graft right off your arm.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is a huge problem. And I was chatting with the owner of the company that made these targets yesterday. And, I told him that we would have a meeting this morning about it, but,
Let me interrupt you real quick. I had the address of the place where these pallets are located. And they said basically we're the first to inquire. So if we want them, we can get them. They want to know what time someone will be out there to pick them up.
Tell them.
Actually, she just gave me a phone number.
Tell her we're on a call right now, and then say, how does 12:30 sound? And we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll keep talking while you are. So it never stops around here. We always got all kinds. We have so many balls in the air all the time. It's just crazy. So we'll do 12:30, and I'll just jet on out there and do it. So the trailer is, in a good position at the armory. I'll just back the truck up. We still have grease on the hitch, and just boom, boom, boom. I'll run out and get them. No big deal. So. It'll be fine, and we need them. And actually, with these 50 pallets plus what I have on property already, actually, I got to post a video of it. I'm probably going to take the nail gun out and probably start assembling a basic deck next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just a basic one. It won't be anything fancy. It probably won't be completely leveled. It'll be as good as I can do, but whatever.
Okay.
We'll talk about it when we get off pod, because we don't need to deal with it now. So.
Yeah, so no, that's good. 50 pallets plus whatever we've got out there, plus I think I have around 10 here at the house. That gives us a pretty good start.
Yeah. There's a story. I'm using this story to talk about the steel targets because it's a good segue. There was a news article, I guess. This has become the new thing. Let's set a new world record on how far we can shoot with a rifle, so we can be cool, which is fine.
Yeah.
Somebody, I guess, in the U.S. set the new record. I don't know who determines this, but it was a 5,000 yard shot. So it looks like it was 2.84 miles, and that's cool. I mean, you know what? I don't care. I mean, it's not something I really care about, because, dude, I know what it's like to shoot at 1,000 and 1,200, and it's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm not shooting a Wildcat, 416 Chi-Tac or whatever hell caliber they're shooting, some crazy 40 caliber Wildcat just to get out there. But I sent you a picture. Did you see the steel targets they had set up for their 5,000 yard shot?
I did.
That's why I sent it to you, and I'll probably post it in the comments below online. That's what I envision having at our 1,000 yard shooting position, 1,000 yard impact position, because we need enough steel target so we can call correction. And the thing is, in the woods, hold on.
That was me.
All right, yeah, that was getting crazy.
I actually turned my volume down. But.
Yeah. We need that steel target to be able to call correction, because here's the thing: if you miss it at 1,000 yards, most fancy ranges will have an impact zone around a steel target, and normally it'll be it'll be like a sand, or it'll be like a dark dirt, and you'll see a splash, and you won't see the splash.
Yeah.
So I mean, how much do you think those targets weigh?
Oh shoot, man. They look like they're 4x8 sheets. I mean, I don't have obviously, I mean, looking at the picture, I'm just trying to kind of get a feel of.
I think that's bigger than 4x8. Well, I mean, hold on, put it this way. I don't think there's a 4 foot in there. I think those could be.
Think they're bigger than, I don't know. I don't know.
Like if the guy that, like, you can tell they're cool guy shooter, like he's wearing
the camo guy?
Yeah,
with the hat? Yeah.
Oh, he's not wearing a costume that day.
Well, but those sheets don't go all the way to the ground. You know what? Those might be like 5x5
That's what I'm thinking. That could be like, maybe if he's 6 feet or 6'5".
Yeah, you figure just on average, say 6 feet.
And he's wearing combat boots, which will give him 2 inches.
Yeah, but the top of the target's at his head, and the bottom.
Yeah, but
but the bottom of the target is like around his crotch.
At the very top. It's right at his taint. Just a hair above his taint. Oh, people are loving this goddamn podcast.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that's maybe like I don't know, 5x5 maybe?
That could be. Well, here's the thing. He's not 10 feet tall, so. But you know what? Well, he's standing. Look how close the post is. Well, you know what? The posts are at angles. The bottom of the post is between his feet, but the target's probably 2 feet behind him.
Yeah.
Because it's an A-frame. See it? Those could be 1, 2. I don't know. Those just look bigger than 4x4 to me. So
yeah.
maybe they're 5x5.
Maybe they are 5x5. I don't think they're 6x6 though.
Yeah, no, they're not 6x6, but they're probably. I think there could be 5x5. Well, here's the deal. We got to find some. If you are listening to this podcast and you are somebody, or you know somebody that is in the target game, or know somebody that could solve some of our problems, please reach out to us either in comment or private message or email. Because what we need is I need a giant sheet of steel that I can permanently hang at the long-range target position. And also, I might need a company that can provide me a target solution for every 100 yards out to 1,000.
Yeah, so, and the thing is, the farther we get out, we don't need AR 550 at 1,000 yards.
Oh, it'll all be because they'll just buy the sheets, and that's what they work for. So they're not going to buy a cheaper sheet, because they're buying. This is logistics. If they're a company and they're we will need AR 550 because you shoot 338 Lapua out to there.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
See, you're like the practical hunter guy. You're like, shit, 243. To you, that's like a barrel burner. 270, 243. To you, like exotic is like 270 Weatherby. You're like, who the fuck shoots that? So, yeah, 338 Lapua doesn't even start to get over itself oh, I'm out of the barrel until it hits 1,500 yards. You know what I mean? Like the bullet is almost it's coming out so quick. It's like I think there's a point where you don't even really factor in a whole lot of change until the 338 Lapua gets beyond 1,500 yards because there's just so much coming out. It's just so fast. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
But here's my question. So I need some help because you're Bob Vila. So these are big, heavy targets. I would imagine, I don't know what these sheets of steel weigh, but they got 2 of them. I don't know. Let's say each one weighs, I don't know, worst case, 150, 200 pounds apiece. 100 pounds apiece. That A-frame, you haven't seen the impact area at the 1,000-yard, 900-yard impact area, but it's it's a valley face that we're going to be shooting into.
Yeah.
This A-frame is designed with a big pipe at the top to be setting on a flat surface. What's the best way you envision that we could solve this problem and mount a big sheet of steel like this on a say on a 30-degree, 20-degree valley face?
Oh, actually, the system they're using in that picture, it will work.
We'd have to cable it?
Well, here's the thing. The back legs have to be shorter than the front legs. And we might have to cable it.
Cable it to a tree over there or something. Okay.
Cable it to a tree or drive a big stake into the ground, I
think some cables on the pipe at the top would be more stable.
Yeah.
We can more leverage. Okay.
And the other thing is, for a permanent fixture, what you do is you dig holes, when you get we'll just call them the legs.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever the legs are going to sit, you dig holes into the ground, you pour some concrete, set the legs into the concrete, and just give it a concrete footer, so to speak. And if we need to run cables, that's fine. Because, on an angle with the weight of that steel, I mean, you're going to have a pretty good spread on those legs because, you don't want it to fall forward.
Yeah, I'll post a picture of this, the 5,000 yard shot. It's a group photo in front of their target at 5,000 yards, and I'll post it on the blog in the comment section of this podcast, so they can see what we're looking at target wise. Because I don't care about the 5,000 yards. I mean, that's great, but we're not shooting 5,000. But I like their targets. I like their targets a lot, and that's what I envision. Because here's the thing. I mean, a little humanoid target at 1,000 yards. Nah, dude, fuck that. I mean, that's just. I mean, look, people can hit it, but the thing is, you're trying to get your corrections to be able to learn to work into that. Is if you're losing the bullet impacts. Okay. Even for the snipers, that's going to suck fucking rocks.
First off, even with glass, I have trouble seeing it 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
And look, the truth is, we're not here to make things hard. And look, if we got to hang a target, it might as well be the proper target. You don't want to sit there and go, man, I'd like to shoot at 1,000 yards today, but I really don't feel like dealing with the bullshit because we have a 10 by 10 gong hanging at 1,000 yards. Stop.
Well, yeah. What I do is we'll put one or two. Look, I mean, it depends on the cost of the sheet of steel. I mean, if a sheet of steel was $1,000 to get one solution in, guess what? We're getting one, not two. But, we'll get a big sheet out there eventually, and I will put a humanoid target next to it. So you can work on the big sheet, get your final dope, figure it out. If you think you're good, shoot to the left and see if you can't hit the 18-inch human target. And now you've learned something. You know what I mean? You've accomplished something as opposed to just sending bullets into the woods and you have no idea where that shit went.
Exactly.
I shot enough at long range, and this idea, this is kind of like this is reality versus internet marketing. Here's a perfect example. A lot of these reticles that they sell for these scopes, they became real popular during the War on Terror. The Christmas tree reticles, like Horus is a big one, the most common one.
Yeah, I'm familiar with them.
But basically, what it is basically there's a huge schematic of all this mil dot data on your scope, on your glass, and then what you do is you take a shot, and instead of adjusting and your turrets and doing whatever, basically you take that reticle. You take your shot, you see where the splash was in your glass, and you basically just adjust and use that Christmas tree to hold your correction. You don't even have to really, quote, learn that much. You just basically point, shoot. Oh, it's up here, point, shoot, but you get data in your glass. Here's the problem with that system. That works really well at a public range that's set up with a clear piece of glass, or with a clear piece of a clear target, and sand or mulch or whatever, so you can see the bullet impacts around your target. Try being a sniper in Vietnam, in the jungles of Vietnam, and using that reticle. You're dead, because when you miss your dude, you don't see where that bullet went, and that's the difference between being at war in, say, Iraq and being at war in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And see, that's kind of like the real world stuff that a lot of people don't really quite understand, because you've got people that have to do this for real, and they don't always shoot in the desert. Sometimes they got to shoot in the Philippines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, or sometimes they have to shoot on a mountaintop in Hawaii. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, it's just, you can't get too cutesy with your shit, because it doesn't work. I just use my Horus reticle and I can get out to whatever. Yeah, good luck seeing that splash, bitch. I mean, you're just not,
Yeah.
And it's just, guys on the internet. So that's why, because we're going to have guys roll in and basically say that I'm a jackass and don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and insert favorite reticle and do whatever. Like we've already had a guy. Did you see the burst video?
Yeah, he actually came back and apologized.
He did? Good. Okay, because
he sent us a PM.
Yeah, I sent him. Okay, because this is we do know this, but it's kind of an adjustment. We post stuff on the internet. It's fine. It's the internet, and there's a unwritten rule that a lot of professionals have concerning the internet, and a lot of our listeners and our viewers and our consumers are not going to like it. They've heard it, but they're not going to like it when I say it because it means I'm talking about them too. And the phrase is never read the comments. Never read the comments. Read the article, consume the video, do whatever. Don't read the comments because the comments, it's just a freaking sewer.
Oh, I know.
And I took this video. I have a video of a bunch of rifles blowing up. Some company in Europe took a bunch of took a bunch of rifles and plugged the barrels and put factory ammo in them and blew them up on high-speed camera. And I don't know exactly what the purpose of the video was. They do all this weird proof type testing in Europe that we don't do in the U.S. Like all of a sudden we started. You were like, Freeze wants to build bolt action rifles, which you could do. And, we don't have to suddenly start blowing up guns at the American Proof House to get permission to sell these guns.
Yes.
Whereas like in England, you have to proof your shit, or in other places you got to do all this crazy shit. So this video has got high speed. I don't know if the company's doing the testing for a government agency or if they're just showing what they can do. It's like a business card to solicit business. But there's an example of a compilation of these videos on the internet. It's been out for years, and it's got this crazy bullshit watermark on it. It's got this crazy bullshit like fucking music and singing. And, people want to use this video for various examples, and it's got all this craziness in it. And I finally got tired of it, and I went out and basically redid it, relabeled it, took all that bullshit out of it. And some guy rolled it on Facebook and basically tried to jump my shit saying, oh, this is just another website that posts clickbait content with no scientific information because science and you suck, basically. And I was just like, dude, I wanted to fucking cut his fucking balls off. I mean, I worked on that goddamn video for an hour. I'm just like, you ungrateful piece of shit. So what I did is I sent him a PM, and I sent him a link to the original fucking Flaming Mess video, and you must have saw the apology.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I told him, I sent it to him, and I said, okay, here you go, buddy. You figure this fuck out. Good luck. Here's the original video. Enjoy. I just, and it's... we're not so big that we're to the point that we don't police comments. Because some of these, look, because people don't read the comments. A bunch of people getting in there talking crazy bullshit or crazy Nazi shit or posting links to, like, buy my shit. We still police our comments and we moderate stuff. But there's going to come a point when it's so big that we're just going to let it go and nobody's going to ever read the comments.
Yeah. Because
it's just because people get on the internet and just say crazy bullshit.
Yeah.
And don't even realize, dude, you kind of hurt my feelings. Hey, seriously, I was like, wow, okay, I thought I was doing everybody a favor. Well, hey, what's going on with the SKS rifle? Am I shooting that or not? Is your dad still shooting it? Or is he going to use it for hunting? When is hunting in Indiana?
It's second week in November.
Okay, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Have you already done it?
No, I was actually, that was my, one of my projects for today. I was going to mount that scope today.
Okay. So get it mounted, and if you're going to shoot it, go ahead. I mean, go out to the range or do what you want to do. Get it done. And if you want me to do it, I'll shoot it, and I'll just get it on video.
Well, if you're going to be going out to the range, with pallets this week. When are you going out there with? If you pick up these pallets today, when are you going to take those out there?
I could do it today. I may go Saturday. Right now it would be Sunday.
Okay. Well, if you want to, I'll get that mounted today. If you want to pick that rifle up and take it out there with you.
I can. Just have it ready. If when I'm driving by, I'll swing by in the Pork Chop Express, and the truck with the trailer on the back of it. I don't know how many feet long we are, but I feel like BJ and the Bear going down the highway with that thing. No one knows who that is. 70s TV reference. No one knows who the hell that is.
BJ and the Bear.
Here's what it is. So, look, technically, great Grandpa Freeze. Look, great Grandpa Freeze is, he's an old guy, and he's been hunting for a long time. And Indiana has now allowed 7.62 by 39 caliber bullets for deer hunting, and the SKS. It's a light, handy gun. And he really likes it. And he wants to hunt deer with it. And we're like, that sounds perfect.
Yeah.
He's going to shoot a deer, 60 yards max?
Oh, yeah, max. Actually, where his stand's at, 50 might be a long shot.
Yeah. So, that's the perfect, who's going to hunt deer with the SKS? Well, great Grandpa Freeze is going to be hunting one in November. It's perfect. It's simple ass gun. You're going to mount. It's a replacement cover. What is it?
Yeah. Well, the rear, I guess receiver cover on the SKS. You just pull a pin and it pops off, and that exposes your that's it's part of the takedown. Anyway, they sell them. Anyone that's familiar with SKS is familiar with the product. They sell basically it's a replacement receiver cover with a rail, mount, integrated into it. So you just pop the old receiver cover off, pop the new one on, mount your scope, zero it, and you're good to go. And and if you don't want the scope on there, just pull it off, put the original back on, run it, and when you want to use a scope, just switch them back. Everything stays zeroed.
Okay. Yeah, it seems pretty cool. And just at short day, I'll set up maybe let me ask you this. I'll just set up like a IDPA target.
Yeah.
If it's dry, I'll go to the 360 range. If it's not, I'll just stay up by the main shooting position and do it that way. But do you want a 100-yard zero or do you want a 50-yard zero? 50 is probably more realistic.
You know what? Do a 50-yard zero on it.
Or I could do a 25.
Nah, do a 50.
Okay.
Because with a 50-yard zero from basically 0 to 100, you're a minute of deer by just dropping the crosshairs on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Do a 50-yard zero because that's realistic. And, and if he pushes out past 50, it's no big deal if he pulls it in. What's nice about this is it's got a cavity under the rail that it doesn't block the sights. You can use the irons.
That's true. Is he aware of that? Has he ever told you what he thinks of that?
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons that he picked this particular one out because, when we were shopping for it online, he was like, he liked that feature because he's not a scope guy. He's been hunting deer for
50 years.
Yeah, 50 years and
maybe 60, 50, maybe 55 years?
Nah, 50.
Okay.
45 to 50 years. He kind of started a little later. But anyway, he's always used iron sights. You know what? He's never shot a deer using a scope.
Wow. That says in 2017, think about how amazing that is.
Yeah.
But you know what? People that are like west of the Mississippi have no idea that that's even possible. A lot of them.
Well, bear in mind, he hunts shotgun states, and people west of the Mississippi, it blows them away when they hear people talk. What, you deer hunt with a 12 gauge? What is this insanity?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got buddies that, live out west, Arizona, Montana, and that, and when you talk to them about shotgun hunting, they're like, what? I mean, it totally blows them away, but it's like, it's a different type of hunting in a different, part of the country,
Yeah.
So yeah. And look, truthfully, where we deer hunt, unless you're hunting on the edge of a field, a lot of the area that I hunt, we hunt on a cattle farm over where Mitchell Range is located.
Yeah, I know. We both stepped in cow shit putting up the deer stands.
And, it's hilly. It's, and it's wooded. And I mean, there are some fields, but it's not like Iowa where you have a 1,000-acre cornfield.
Yeah, See, you know what? That's a good point. The concept of what a field to us is versus a field to people west of the Mississippi, maybe two completely different things.
I mean, the main hay field on this farm is, 15 acres maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, so, I mean, some of the areas I hunt, well, actually, the area I hunt now, I probably do have a good 100-yard shot if I shoot over to the next ridge. But the truth is, the stand we moved a couple of weeks ago, man, if I shoot 30 or 40 yards, that's a long shot.
Yeah. Hey, I just remembered, what's going on with the chainsaw party? Did we miss it?
Well, you know what? I was thinking about that yesterday. Jay did not reach out to me about it, but remember, I had to move the tree because, he sold that particular tree.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, I was talking to other people, and apparently, I think it's white pine maybe? White pine or something like that.
You told me they were selling white pine and something else.
White pine and walnut, and I think he said he sold like 200 trees or something like that, because apparently there's a shortage of white pine, and well, walnut's desirable anyway. So, I'm guessing, and I haven't talked to the owner yet, but I'm guessing when they came in or are going to come in to cut these trees down, that's probably going to supply him with enough wood. Or he it's like, well, if in order to get to these trees, whack this, that, so he might be having them do a lot of the work.
I hadn't, you know what? Because I had reached out to him and asked him, I was like, what's going on with the chainsaw party? He was like, we're going to do it later in the year. And I know that the day that, because, you and I went out and did the stand, because of your schedule, we had to do your stand separate, but he was having most of the hunters come in the following week and doing all their stands. And I was wondering, are they also doing a chainsaw party, and did we miss it? Did I miss it? So,
well, no, I mean, he would have reached out to you, and I would have reached out to you as well.
Okay, but I hadn't thought about having the property logged. So,
yeah,
okay,
so
cool. That makes me happy, because I'll tell you what, I'm nursing a few injuries, so it'd be nice to skip that this year.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know Christmas came early for you this year?
It did.
It most certainly did.
What did Kwanzaa Claus bring me?
Kwanzaa Claus You know how like we have people reach out to us all the time and they're like, "Hey, we want you to try our shit because reasons." And we're like, "Go ahead and send it." I mean, we're not going to buy it, but if
And do you know how many people actually send it?
Zero. Zilch, blank, nothing.
Freeze does not get bling from anybody.
So I'm down at the mail center, and there's we have a huge PO box. I mean, we're commercial shippers. We go to the loading dock because of all the T-shirts that we did and everything. So the box is full, all kinds of stuff, stuff that we've been ordering, stuff that's come in. We have something from we had a listener or viewer. He sent us some stuff, and I'm going to do a video and open all this mail at one time. And
yes.
But there's they actually wanted a signature. There's a box, and it's from Urban Carry.
Urban Carry. And that sounds familiar.
These are the people that were reaching out to us, wanting us to fly to Florida to go look at their holsters, I guess. But like
I remember those.
And
guys.
they were kind of bothering the shit out of us. I mean, they were emailing and calling fairly regularly, and I'm like, why do you? I mean, we're not that important. We're not gear reviewers. So obviously, what they had done. No, I'm not criticizing this at all. They, instead of spending, I don't know, like X amount of dollars on some kind of ad buy, they've decided to spend X amount of dollars on like internet influencers. So we have, quote, made the internet influencer list. And so they had, we're like I had just gotten back from traveling overseas. This one company wanted to go back to goddamn England for a fucking arms show. I mean, it was like, I don't have time to go to Florida, and you are not going to go to Florida, and, you're not going to give up vacation time to go look at a holster that you don't care about and give up time to hunt. Because you've only got so much vacation time and you use it for hunting. And it's just like, appreciate it, guys. And I'm like, you could send us, if you want to send it to us, we'll take a look at it. Because they were couching it as not as a final product. They were couching it as, this is in development. We're still designing it. We want some feedback. Whatever. And I'm realizing that's probably not true. So I gave them our information. Kind of forgot about it because it'd been a month and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
No, that was back in August. It's November. Yeah. I mean, we're almost November. It's been months. Well, I'll be damned if a box didn't show up, and I sent you a photograph of it. I mean, unless an Urban Carry holster comes with like a robot to mount it to your body, there must be a bunch of them in this box. I mean, this box is big enough to hold a big ass pumpkin. I'm like, what the hell kind of goddamn holster is in this box? So,
how heavy is the box?
It's in front of the rifle rack. I have it set up because I'm in the rifle room. It's not that heavy, but I mean, there's no way there's got to be more than one in there. I mean, I would hope. So, I mean, what they spent to ship this, I mean, look, we're commercial shippers. This was retarded. I mean, if you ship this way and you didn't ship it in a flat rate box and there's just one holster in that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it makes you a little crazy.
So here's the deal. So I guess when we open up the mail and go through all of it, we'll play with them. I think I know what the holster is. I think it's the one you shove down in your pants.
It's probably going to be like all Glock holsters. It's like Kwanzaa Claus screwed Freeze this year. Oh,
well, I told them. I said we run HK VP9s, and I said if you got some VP9s, send them on over. So look, I don't know what it is. We'll play with it, and if if they're going to send us stuff, we'll play with it, especially if we don't have to pay for it. And I guess we'll do an honest review. I mean, here's the thing. I don't like to
look, it's like this. If it's a decent holster, I'll use it. I mean, I carry every day. I'll use it if it's decent. If it's not a decent holster, it'll get thrown on the junk shelf.
You get thrown on the junk shelf. So
we actually already have a box called miscellaneous holster parts or some shit. Junk holsters.
We have a box from, I'm still not going to name the company, but we'll be trying to figure out. I have a box of parts from probably one of the preeminent, like, cool guy holster companies. Not like one of the big ones, but like one of the cool, like if you're an operator, you've got a holster from this company.
Yeah, you do.
We had ordered some stuff from them, and they sent over, literally, it was bags of parts. And I was so pissed off. I put the box up on the shelf and I labeled it company whatever box of shit. And it's behind me.
So with their business model, back when we were doing T-shirts, I would send you a blank T-shirt and 2 different bottles of ink and a squeegee and say, here you go.
For what they're charging for holsters.
Yeah.
I could not believe those fuckers did that. And I was insane.
And you know what? You didn't get a personalized thank you note or a roll of Smarties, did you?
You were going to bring up the goddamn Smarties.
Yeah.
So, but it was just like, I mean, like, we ordered, like, we did mag pouches for AR mags, the nag mags. There was, there was a bunch of other stuff. So it was like multiple products. So, like, none of it's labeled. None of it's segregated. It's just piles, and it's, it's all common parts.
A little bag of screws.
And it's just like, you got to put all this shit together. And it's just like, I am not going to spend 2 fucking hours of my life putting your bullshit together. I mean, I hate that. That is so goddamn crazy that company does that.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume they did it because we ordered multiples. If people are out there buying stuff from them and they're getting a box of parts, I mean, that's a company. I mean, look, that's crazy. They're going out of business. You know how I feel about this. I absolutely despise terrible customer service. I despise it. It's up there with like Al Qaeda. If you treat your customers bad, I want to cut your fucking head off because you are a fucking idiot. It makes me so mad. And I can't believe this company's getting away with this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We sell holsters to Delta Force and all these cool guys, and they've got all these cool guys that, talk about, if you're going to use their holsters, this is the holster you got to have. This is it.
But by the way, you got to go to Harbor Freight to buy a screwdriver to assemble them.
I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. Of course, the argument will be, it's like the guys that like, oh yeah, if the gun's too heavy, you should go to the gym. It's like there's literally a gym like on the other side of this wall. It's like, no, dick face. This isn't how this is supposed to work. I mean, don't make it hard for me to give you money. And this is like, I just can't believe.
Well, okay. Now that you've been on your rant about parts, this box you're going to open might be a box of miscellaneous holster parts.
God, dude. Because I'm going to open this on video because we have so many things from like regular people that I'm going to open the stuff on video because I've got the urban carry, some stuff that we're using on the range. There's the magazines, I think, from the guy. There's the thing from Ukraine that is its own thing that we still, I discovered some more stuff about that. Here's the thing. If I open up this box on video and it's a box of parts, I'm going to lose my shit on video and I'm going to post it. And you know what? I'll probably name the other company too. I'll probably name them both and be like, this is why you assholes deserve to go out of business.
You get your bleep button ready.
Yeah. Don't make fun of my goddamn bleep button. So, Freeze is making fun of me because, we started posting videos. Look, we're doing what we can. I'm not some pedophile or sexual assaulter that lives in Hollywood that knows how to make a video. I'm just, we do what we can. And so YouTube was kind of on a kick where they're like, yeah, if you curse, you're not advertiser friendly. So I was like, there was a video I did and I was like, okay, I only said one bad word in it, so I'll try bleeping it. And you watch the video and it's like, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, fuck, beep. It's just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. So I was like, yeah, I tried. You know, I don't care.
Damn it.
So, because I haven't told you this, you know the BREN rifle that is that, you know, I was beating apart the parts gun I was beating apart the other day.
Yes.
I stopped beating on it. I got to get some Croyle. The guys on the internet were right.
Well, yeah.
So it's I got it apart probably about 2.5 inches. But I'm just like, yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. Well,
because I started realizing even if I get it farther and farther and farther apart, the farther I get down the track, the more like twisting, bending force this could be putting on the rails as I'm beating on. So
get some penetrating oil, douche it down, and go from there.
So,
I mean, I don't use Croyle. I know a lot of guys do.
What is it you suggested? Because let me write that down. What is it?
I use PB Blaster.
PB Blaster?
Yeah, it's easier to find than Croyle. It's cheaper, and I like it because it's in an aerosol can, you know, with a little straw nozzle, and I can just kind of, you know, hit it wherever I want it.
Okay. All right. Well, when I go to the store, I'll look for it. But I know we're going kind of long here. Want to do an hour? Let me go ahead and say this. Give a quick update on the BREN because we've been, you know, we've taken it. I can see inside of it. So we got the BREN apart. We're looking at the welds. We looked at some websites online because we were talking about maybe see if we can't bring it back to life as a semi-auto. It doesn't have a bolt in it. I think the silver rod that I'm seeing inside of it is actually a recoil guide, like a spring guide. So I think that may be factory, even though it's shiny. We were looking online, and the cuts, because it's been repaired. The cuts look bigger, but when you're on the inside looking out, it doesn't look like the cuts were like really wide, blown out torch cuts. They were they were thin cuts or band cuts, and none of them are through the locking surface, I don't think.
See, the problem I have two problems with this. The first problem is without an actual template, we don't know if the tolerances on these welded parts are absolutely correct. And if they're not, that could be one of the reasons it's tight as well. And the other problem I have with it is those welded cuts have to be recut. The old weld has to be totally ground out of it, and it needs to be re-welded because we don't know what kind of metal they use to make those welds, and we can't rely on those welds.
Yeah, I mean that. The goal is basically to get the gun open, do analysis of it, shoot photographs of it, contact a company that does these conversions, send them the photographs, get analysis of what they're seeing. Because, you know, they're going to have to, you know, address the welds at some point, obviously. And so they'll handle the jig, whether it, you know, for function, whether it's big enough or not. But basically let them look at it and determine, without having to ship it off, you know, could you guys just recut it and re-weld it? Is it cheap? I mean, is this thing doable? What's the cost? And does it make sense versus just buying one?
Well, here's what I figure. If we do that and whoever we send the information to says, yeah, it's doable, and they can do this for, say, they can do it for no more than $2,500, we are definitely on the right side of this.
Oh, even 3,000 we're on the right side of it.
Yeah, but I think 3,000 would be like the absolute max. Because the truth is, if you go over 3,000, you might as well just buy a new one.
The new ones are like 40,
like 4,200 to 4,500.
Yeah. So
okay, but here's the thing: you buy one for 4,200 to 4,500. You turn around and the parts gun that we have right now, dump it. And look, we are so on the right side of that. I mean,
See, that's assuming I'm going to keep it. And see, I don't normally sell stuff, but see, you're right. You're right.
But I mean, at a bare minimum, we're looking at doubling our money if we dump this. And that's on the cheap side.
Especially if it turns out that you can bring it back to life.
So, if we can sell this and get half of what a new one cost, that means now we only have 2,500 in a BREN gun. Well, I mean, we will have more than that because of the initial cost of the parts gun that we have, but that'll still, what I'm saying is if you go over 3,000 on this build, it puts us on the wrong side of the line.
I see how you are calculating it based off the value added of the parts gun being valuable as a parts gun put together.
Yes.
And I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, because the thing is, we got that gun so cheap.
Because I'm looking at the parts gun as it being here, so it's zero. And because it's here, and so it won't go. You're right.
But if we have a semi-auto BREN gun that works, what the hell do we want with a freaking welded up dummy gun in the armory? Dump it, make some money on it, and that'll offset the cost of a new one. But if they can take this existing dummy gun and rebuild it and get it running, and they can do that for, say, $2,500 to $3,000, then we're still on the right side of God, and we can do it. But if it's going to cost over $3,000, it's not worth it.
I have a business idea.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to India, find the company that's still making BRENs, convince them to make a semi-auto BREN, and then bring them into the U.S.? We'll put a different stock on it and call it a sporting gun. Just a thought. We'll wrap the podcast up with that.
Yeah.
Okay. This wraps up episode, because you got to get going, dude. This wraps up episode. Freeze's dog is in the hospital, and he's got to go visit his dog. This wraps up episode 77 of the John1911 Podcast. If you like this podcast, think about leaving us some feedback on iTunes or YouTube or on iHeartRadio. We greatly appreciate it. Special promotional consideration to our sound engineer. Are you still talking? Mitch at A&M Promotions. Mitch is going to be rolling into music. Say it quick.
The dog's at the groomer. He's not at the vet.
Oh, well, hell, the goddamn dog's always at the hospital. All right, anyway, everybody, remember it's all about shooting guns and having fun. Everybody, have a good day.
See you later.